A week before the wedding, fiancé Liam took his assistant Aria to the hospital for a pregnancy checkup. My number was called accidentally. I held Aria's pregnancy report tightly in my hand and looked at the two people outside through the crack in the door. Liam Fu put his arm around the woman's waist and confessed his love to her. "Aria, I love you. I married Olivia Gu only because of the circumstances, but you have always been the one living in my heart," without further hesitation. I took out my cell phone and sent a message to my father. "Dad, I accept the marriage with the son of the Liu family. Don't change the wedding date, change the groom." Looking down from the clinic window, Liam Fu was already leading Aria out of the hospital. I picked up my phone and called him. "Are you going home tonight?" The person on the other end of the phone replied in seconds, "I won't be back tonight. The company has an emergency and I have to work overtime." I looked at the two people hugging each other on the side of the road and asked, "Are you sick? I think I saw you in the hospital just now." Liam Fu paused while fixing Aria's hair. He looked around and saw that I was not there, so he secretly breathed a sigh of relief. "No, you read it wrong. I have been in a meeting at the company today." My eyes became blurry. "You sound good. Did you encounter any good news today?" His voice turned cold. "Nothing. I have other things to do at the company. I'll hang up now." As soon as he finished speaking, he hung up the phone, carefully helped Aria to the passenger seat, and drove away. Affectionate confession to Aria just now echoed in my mind. "Aria, I love you. I married Olivia Gu only because of the circumstances, but you have always been the one living in my heart." My heart aches so much that tears flow uncontrollably. I returned home from work at the hospital in the afternoon and unexpectedly found Liam Fu was also at home. A ripple of hope arose in my heart, but his words soon made my heart calm down again. "I'm going to stay at the company for the next few days, so I'll come back to pack some clothes." The particularly eye-catching lipstick mark on his collar betrayed him, and I knew he was lying again. I didn't expose him, but helped him pack his clothes. Seeing me so calm and not making any noise, he couldn't help but be stunned for a moment. "I brought you dinner on the table. I will definitely be back before the wedding." As he said this, he was about to hold me in his arms. I dodged sideways and asked what was in my heart without giving up. "Do we have to live in the company? We are getting married in a week." Liam Fu's face darkened. "The company's cash flow is tight and there are a lot of things to do. Can you be more sensible and stop causing me trouble all the time?" He picked up his clothes, slammed the door and left. I stood there in a daze, unable to come back to my senses for a long time. Liam Fu and I are childhood sweethearts. Growing up, I always liked running after him. He used to be very nice to me. When I was in elementary school, I was bullied by other girls and he would stand in front of me and scold those girls. When I was in junior high school, I had stomach pain during my menstrual period, and he would boil brown sugar water for me every day, put it in a thermos and bring it to school for me. When I was in high school, I had poor grades and was under a lot of academic pressure, so he helped me study and improve my grades. He also took me on trips during the winter and summer vacations to relax me. Since when did all this change? Ever since Aria entered his company and became his assistant, 2 years ago. I went to the company to bring him lunch. He threw it into the trash can with disgust, saying it was unclean, and turned around to eat the takeaway ordered by Aria. I made a scene that time. But he ended up protecting Aria behind him and slapping me. He also scolded me and no longer allowed me to enter the company. A year ago, he gave my thick dress to Aria. I had to stand in a cold, thin dress for a whole night in the snowy winter. It happened to be my period, so I was admitted to the hospital that night. Half a year ago, he took me to buy a wedding dress, but Aria called him away halfway through, leaving me alone in the bridal shop to be told what to do. I endured the mocking looks from others and ordered my wedding dress alone. It was not until later that I found out that he was taking Aria to see the sea. I naively thought that as long as I was obedient and didn't make him angry, he would come back to me. When he looks back and sees me, he will remember our past, and we can go back to the way we were before. But in the end, I am the only one living in memories. Aria's pregnancy test report was like an invisible slap in the face. Liam Fu's confession to her was more like a knife piercing my heart. Now, even though they are about to get married, he still chooses Aria. How ridiculous. In this 5-year relationship, I was the only one who gave. What do all these efforts mean to Liam Fu? What are the obstacles or stumbling blocks in your relationship? Trouble in life? Without further hesitation, I took out my cell phone and sent a message to my father. Dad, I accept the marriage with the heir of the Liu family. The wedding date doesn't change, but the groom does. In fact, my father once said that Liam Fu married me because he wanted him to inject capital into Fu Group, but I didn't believe it at the time. But now I have to face this reality. It was because his company was short of funds last week that he would rather not love me and let Arya down, but still marry me. In that case, I will help them to have this secret office romance. At the dining table, I opened the lunch boxes that Liam Fu brought back one by one. At just one glance, I recognized that these were Arya's favorite Sichuan dishes. The leftovers have a spicy flavor. He remembered what Arya liked to eat, but he forgot that I don't eat spicy food, so he used the leftovers to satisfy me. I was very tired after a day's work. I didn't complain anymore. I ate a few mouthfuls and went to bed in a hurry. In the middle of the night, I woke up with unbearable stomach pain and curled up in the quilt. I picked up the phone on the bedside table and called Liam Fu, wanting him to come back and take me to the hospital, but the call just wouldn't go through. I endured the stomachache and got up. Taking 10 minutes to go to the living room and pour a glass of warm water, I leaned weakly on the sofa to ease the pain. Suddenly, the sound of a cell phone dinging broke the silence of the night. It is a friend request from Callum Lu. The heir of the Fu family. The Fu family and the Jiu family are old friends. When I was a child, I would often follow Callum Lu and call him brother, but later he went abroad to study. By this calculation, he and I haven't seen each other for almost 20 years. I hesitated for a moment, but finally accepted the friend request. As soon as I agreed, a message came from the other side. Why are you still awake so late? I answered truthfully. My stomach hurts. Change your clothes and come out. I'll take you to the hospital. When I saw the message, my heart skipped a beat and I looked outside the door. What he meant by this is, he is at my doorstep now. Before I could think clearly, my dad called. 11er, did the kid from the Jiu family tell you that you have a stomachache? The tone on the other end of the phone was full of worry. Yeah, a little bit. That'll be better. My dad is abroad right now, and the time difference is exactly the opposite of that in China. So I was not surprised by his call. I received your message tonight and told the Jiu family right away. I didn't expect that guy to fly back to the country without saying a word. Run to the downstairs of your house, Xia, and stand there for so long. No. I just called me when I heard you had a stomachache. I'm afraid you'll be stubborn and refuse to go to the hospital. So let me try to persuade you. It would be a lie to say I wasn't moved when I heard this, but I was just moved. At the hospital, Callum Lu first accompanied me for a physical examination and then helped me pay the bills. When he finally finished his work and returned to my bedside, his face was full of fatigue. I felt a little embarrassed. Thank you, Mr. Fu. You've been busy all night. Go back and have a rest first. I can get the 4 drip in the hospital by myself. Callum Lu's eyes dimmed, but he still went along with what I said. Okay, then you take a rest first. I'll pick you up after the drip is finished. I nodded, watched him leave, pulled the quilt together, closed my eyes, and fell asleep. The next morning, I was woken up by a call from Liam Fu. Hey, you going there to make trouble again? Why didn't I see you when I got home this morning? The sudden question left me at a loss for how to answer him. It's not like I didn't call him last night, but he didn't even say a word of concern. Bitterness surged into my throat. I couldn't explain myself. I had a stomachache last night after eating spicy food. I'm in the hospital getting an 4 drip. There was silence on the other end for 3 seconds. We've been fighting all night. It's time to come back now. I looked up at the 1/3 of the potion left and said, well, let's go back now. After hanging up the phone, I pulled out the needle from my hand and left. Liam Fu leaning on the sofa with a bouquet of roses and a gift box at his side. I glanced over and landed on him. Why are you back? Normally, I would wish he would come home every day so I could spend time with him. But now I asked this question out of the ordinary. Liam Fu felt a little uncomfortable. But it was soon replaced by other things. I want to eat the crab roe porridge you made. Please pack some for me when you make it. I had a vague guess in my mind. It might not be him who wanted to eat it, but Aria, because I accidentally saw Aria's TikTok before, where she would share what she ate every day. Among them, I was asked to prepare crab roe porridge for Liam Fu and pack it up to bring to the company. As I walked in the kitchen, I pretended to say casually, crab roe porridge. Speaking of this, I remembered something interesting. A few days ago, one of my patients almost had a miscarriage because she ate too many crabs that her mother-in-law packed home from a restaurant. Crabs are cold foods. Anyone who eats too much will suffer from this. But the mother-in-law later blamed the restaurant's cook. Don't you think that's interesting? Fortunately, the child was saved. I turned to look at Liam Fu and saw that his face turned ugly instantly, which made me more certain of what I was thinking. I thought I was numb, but I still felt waves of pain in my heart. My eyes also became sore. I turned around, adjusted my mood, and continued to wash rice as if nothing had happened. Liam Fu's cold voice came from behind. Don't cook it, I don't want to eat it. The bouquet of flowers and the gift on the table are for you. Also, I have a social event at noon and you have to accompany me. After saying that, he walked away. I put down what I was holding, my eyes fell on the two things, and I smiled to myself. He doesn't even remember that I can't eat spicy food, so how can he remember that I'm allergic to lilies? I started to open the gift box next to the rose, but my heart seemed to fall into an icy cave, and the blood in my limbs froze instantly. This is the last bag my mother bought for me before she died. There were my initials engraved on it, so there was no way I could mistake it. But now there is a damaged spot on the bag. I know it was Aria's doing. But what can I do? All this is because of Liam Fu. My heart felt like it was being eaten by ants. I really wanted to cry, but no tears came out. I don't know how long it took me to calm myself down, pack up my bag, and send it in for repair, then go to the hotel where Liam Fu is. I could have refused, but I wanted to see this whole thing through to the end with him, so I treated this as a farewell dinner. Arriving at the hotel, I sat quietly next to Liam Fu and ate the food in my bowl. At this moment, the man next to me suddenly spoke to me. Ashi, this is Mr. Lin, one of the shareholders of the Fu Group. Our company has a cooperation deal to discuss with him. Go and toast him. I still sat and ate my food, and calmly refused. I just got out of the hospital. I'm not fit to drink. Liam Fu continued. This order is very important. You have to go and make a toast. I went to put down my chopsticks. I'm not your employee. This is your assistant's business. Having said that, I turned my attention to Aria. He followed my gaze. His face instantly turned dark blue, and he whispered a scolding in my ear. She's not feeling well. You're older than her. Can't you be more considerate of a young girl? Before I could object, he pulled me up and stuffed a glass of white wine into my hand. Director Lin, this is my fiancé. I asked her to toast you. The atmosphere was so tense that I had no choice but to drink it. However, I underestimated how deserted Liam Fu would be. In order to fulfill his order, he completely ignored my health and kept forcing me to drink one cup after another. By the time the order was signed, I was already pale from the stomach pain and had a thin layer of sweat on my forehead. I pulled Liam Fu's clothes, wanting him to take me to the hospital. A trace of worry flashed in his eyes and he hesitated for a moment. But when he heard Aria's urging voice outside the door, he chose to shake off my hand and leave with Aria. Before I lost consciousness, I seemed to see Callum Lu coming towards me with his arm around Liam Fu's shoulder. When I woke up again, I was in the hospital, still lying on the same bed with N4. I learned from the nurse that I was sent here by a tall, handsome man in a suit and tie. Looking at the infatuated look of the nurse, combined with the scene before I fainted from the pain, I understood that it must be Callum Lu who sent me to the hospital. Thinking of this, my impression of Callum Lu improved a lot, but at the same time I also felt guilty. I knew he liked me and was determined to marry me, but I also knew that I was just using him to get over my last failed relationship. Just then the door of the ward was pushed open from the outside. The person who came was Liam Fu. He looked unhappy, but he tried to keep his voice calm and asked, "Who is the man who sent you to the hospital?" I lied calmly, "It's a friend." Seeing my pale lips, he sighed and sat down on the bed. "How are you feeling?" I looked at him calmly. You can't die. He frowned slightly, obviously dissatisfied with my attitude. I ignored him and continued, you saw me faint. Why didn't you send me to the hospital? Fiancé. I deliberately emphasized the word fiancé. His eyes were complicated, showing panic, confusion, and guilt. I had an emergency at the company and didn't have time to take you to the hospital. I didn't react too much, and responded calmly, okay, I see. Seeing my cold attitude, he pulled my hand that was not given the injection, looking helpless. You are already so old. Stop being suspicious and writing nonsense. I said nothing and calmly pulled my hand out. At that moment, the door of the ward was pushed open again. Callum Lu glanced at Liam Fu, then fixed his gaze on me. His tone gentle. 11er, I just passed by a flower shop and saw your favorite roses, so I bought a bunch for you. I also bought you another portion of rice porridge and egg custard. I smiled and said, thank you, Brother Lou. After what happened at the banquet yesterday, I am now willing to call him Brother Lou, just like I called him Callum Lu when I was a child. Callum Lu's eyes were full of doting. He hummed softly, touched my head, and helped me set up the table and put the food out. I didn't hesitate, took the spoon he handed me and started eating. Liam Fu, who was ignored, turned pale and gritted his teeth. Olivia Gu, what do you mean? I drank the rice porridge calmly and ignored his anger. Liam Fu, I haven't seen my smile in a long time. For a moment he felt as if he had lost something important, but soon he was overwhelmed by anger. He pointed at me and said, Olivia Gu, how dare you give me a bad face for another man? There has to be a limit to fooling around. You're not a child anymore, and you're actually looking for someone to act with you. I'm really disappointed in you. Don't forget, we're getting married in 5 days. You're going to regret coming to me for help. After saying that, Liam Fu raised his hand, knocked over the rice porridge and egg custard in front of me, and slammed the door and left. I looked at the big hand blocking my way, and I didn't bother to refute Liam Fu. I asked nervously, Brother Lou, are you okay? Are you burned? Callum Lu gently pressed down on my arm where the foredrip was, then withdrew his big hand and spoke in a gentle tone, it's okay, the porridge isn't hot, I'm not burned. How about you? Are you hurt anywhere? I knew he was saying this to comfort me because I had just drunk that bowl of rice porridge, which was obviously very hot. But in order not to delay him from treating his wound, I did not expose him. I'm fine. Why don't you go to the nurse's station to take care of the wound and let the nurse come in to clean it up? Callum Lu said okay and did as I asked. When he came back again, the mess in the ward had been cleaned up. He put his hand at his side. I couldn't see the wound, but it must have been serious. I lowered my head and dared not look him in the face. I'm sorry, it was me who caused you to get hurt. I will pay you back for the medical expenses and clothes. Callum Lu chuckled and rubbed the top of my head with his good hand. Why are you still acting like a kid? You're apologizing even though it's not your fault. Besides, I don't need your money. Having said that, I still feel bad. He seemed to see through my thoughts and changed the subject. Why did Liam Fu say you were acting? I tightened my hands on the quilt and laughed to myself. Because I was stupid enough to find a man to act with me in order to make him jealous and make myself feel that he cared about me. But the ending was not what I expected. Liam Fu didn't get jealous. Instead, he scolded me. Maybe he no longer loved me from that time on. But I was just too obsessed with love and couldn't see him clearly. For the next 2 days, I took leave and stayed in the hospital, and Callum Lu came to accompany me every day without fail. And every time she brings me all kinds of things, including roses of different colors, food that I like to eat, and all kinds of exquisite gifts. Unlike the allergenic roses, leftovers, and damaged gifts that Liam Fu gave me, these little things made me feel the warmth of being loved again. During this period, I did not take the initiative to contact Liam Fu. Naturally, he would not bow to me. He would just think that I would lower my posture and seek peace with him as I did in the past. It was not until the day I was discharged from the hospital and returned home that I saw Liam Fu again at home after not seeing him for a few days. He smelled strongly of alcohol, and his shirt was several buttons undone, revealing his fair collarbone. The hem of his shirt was half tucked into his suit trousers and half exposed. The whole person exudes dejection and fatigue. He heard the door open, removed his hand from his temple, and walked towards me. "Ashi, you're back." I noticed his abnormality and subconsciously frowned and took a step back. He seemed not to notice the resistance on my face and forced me into his arms. "Okay, it's been 2 days. Don't be angry anymore. We're getting married in 3 days. Yes, the wedding is in 3 days, but unfortunately, the groom is not you." I muttered to myself, but she still helped him back to the room and threw him on the bed. The next day, when Liam Fu woke up, he found that he was still wearing the same suit he wore yesterday, and his shoes were placed on the bed without him even taking them off. For a moment, I felt a little annoyed, but more of it was a vague sense of uneasiness. The phone in my pocket rang at the right time. It was Arya calling. Liam Fu said a few words to the other end in a gentle voice, then stood up, made himself ready and went out again. He didn't notice that I was away from home, or even that something was missing. Calamelu asked me out that day and said he wanted to give me a surprise. I didn't refuse, so I went out early in the morning to keep the appointment, but what I didn't expect was that he actually brought me to the top bridal shop in Yuncheng. I have brought Liam Fu here many times, wanting him to order a wedding dress for me here. After all, there is no woman who does not value this crucial moment in her life. I also want to dress myself up beautifully at the wedding. I am no exception, but Liam Fu always said, weddings cost a lot of money. There's no need to spend so much money on a wedding dress. When he makes more money in the future, he will definitely bring me here to buy the most beautiful one. I was naive at that time, and I actually believed it under his constant brainwashing. Now that I think about it, would he, as the president of a company, be short of money for a wedding dress? That was just a big promise he made to me because he didn't love me. Seeing that I was still not moving, Calamelu said beside me, "Go in first and see if there is anything you like. Just pick whatever you want. If not, I'll have a few more airlifted in from overseas." Okay, there was a hint of humility in the gentle tone. I smiled and said, "No, I just remembered something." I took a quick look at the latest wedding dresses in the store and took the first 5 to try on. When I just tried the third set, by chance, I met Liam Fu and Arya. Liam Fu saw me in a mermaid wedding dress. There was a flash of amazement in his eyes. "Ashi, why are you here? Hasn't the wedding dress been ordered before?" From the reflection in the mirror, I saw the man's hand on the woman's waist, and his tone was calm, as if he was facing a stranger. "Try again." Liam Fu's heart felt like it was pinched and hurt. He immediately withdrew his big hand from Arya's waist and winked at her, asking her to go first, but Arya pretended not to notice and said, "Manager, let's pick up the wedding dress we ordered earlier." Faced with Arya's provocation, I didn't get angry like before, but just admired the wedding dress on me. On the contrary, Liam Fu looked a little unhappy, and turned to her and said, "There's no rush for the wedding dress, you go back first." Arya saw the man giving her a cold look. She immediately turned away in dissatisfaction. Calamelu, who was watching all this, suddenly spoke up. "I didn't expect President Fu to be so tolerant that he could even tolerate an assistant who has such a bad temper." Liam Fu remembered that Calamelu had appeared in the hospital before, and was about to refute when I interrupted him. "Mr. Fu, you should go chase your assistant first. I think she doesn't look well, and I'm afraid something unexpected might happen to her." Liam Fu's face turned pale and blue, and finally he said nothing and turned around to chase Arya. My good mood was ruined and I had no mood to try on wedding dresses, but I didn't want to offend Calamelu, so I was in a dilemma. Calamelu saw my embarrassment and said gently, "You must be tired after trying for so long, I'll take you to lunch." Then he turned to the store manager and said, "Pack up these 5 sets." Under Calamelu's strong request, I refused in vain, and finally all 5 wedding dresses ended up in my pocket, in the restaurant. I found a relatively quiet place and got straight to the point with Calamelu. "Brother Lu, I know what you mean to me, but I really can't accept your kindness with the intention of hurting others, but I need a groom right now, and I hope you can help me. We can sign a marriage agreement between us. Are you willing?" Calamelu what I saw and heard in the hospital that day and my next plans. He also understood my change in attitude towards Liam Fu and was willing to help me. 11. I am willing to submit to you, no matter what you do to me. I am willing, even if it means death. so you don't have to feel guilty about me. You may think I am a dog licker, but in the dog licker's world, the dog licker is the protagonist. I am willing to wait for you and follow you, as long as you look back. You will definitely see me. Callum Lu's words caused ripples in my heart. I knew he loved me, but I didn't know his love for me was so passionate. In the next few days, Liam Fu didn't go home, and I had almost packed my luggage. What should be thrown away has been thrown away, and what should be taken away has been taken away. I even discounted the rent I had earned over the years at market price and put it in a bank card for him. The afternoon before the wedding, I called Liam Fu 5 or 6 times before he finally answered. You don't have to go home tonight, just stay at the hotel. You need to get up early tomorrow morning to do your makeup. This will save you some time. I'll send you the location. Okay, got it. After hanging up the phone, I packed my luggage and left the house I had lived in for 5 years without looking back. That night, Liam Fu did as I said and came directly to the hotel and stayed next to me, while Callum Lu stayed on the other side of me. On the wedding day, I wore one of the wedding dresses that Callum Lu bought for me and stood in the center of the stage to preside over the wedding myself. Liam Fu and Callum Lu stood outside the 2 side doors respectively. Hello, distinguished guests and friends. I am the bride of this wedding, Olivia Gu. Thank you all for coming to my wedding in person. I won't say any more. Now I'd like to invite my groom, Callum Lu, to come in. The music started, and the wedding photo of Callum Lu and I appeared on the big screen first. The lights also shone on Callum Lu as I had arranged before. The man was reserved and noble, and the suit he wore made him look even more radiant. There was a lot of discussion in the audience because the groom's name on the invitation they received was different from the man on the stage. Liam Fu in the corner was first angry, and then a surge of panic spread all over his limbs. He watched me hand over to Callum Lu and tell each other that I was willing. Then he reacted, strode onto the stage, and pointed at Callum Lu in disbelief. Olivia Gu, what's going on? Wasn't I the groom? How did it become him? I picked up the microphone and said word by word, Mr. Fu, I know exactly who the groom will be at my wedding. Liam Fu took a step forward, his eyes red. What do you mean? What about me? Callum Lu, who was about to step in front of me and looked at Liam Fu calmly. Mr. Fu, I have made my meaning very clear. My groom is Callum Lu and we have broken up. I sent you a breakup text message a day ago. Liam Fu hurriedly took out the mobile phone from his trouser pocket, and the word breakup was clearly displayed on it. His heart sank to the bottom, and the pain was like a knife cutting it. No, Ashi, you said you loved me the most and would never leave me for the rest of your life. You won't marry another man. I did say this before, but now I am tired of love. I took Callum Lu's hand, took the wedding ring from the etiquette lady, and put it on his hand. Callum Lu also cooperated by helping me put on the wedding ring, and then raised his hand with his fingers interlocked. Boss Fu, Sierra is married to me now. She is my woman. At this moment, Liam Fu truly realized that I didn't love him anymore. I married another man. No, I don't agree to break up, nor do I agree with you marrying this man. You love me. You can only marry me. As he said that, Liam Fu came forward and pulled my arm like crazy, trying to separate my and Callum Lu's interlocked hands. I let go of Callum Lu and slapped Liam Fu in the face. Liam Fu, this is my wedding. If you're going crazy, go post it somewhere else. Liam Fu didn't care about the slap mark on his face. He held my hand, his voice trembling. Ashi, I was wrong. I know I was wrong. Take back what you just said and let's get married. I shook his hand off in disgust and looked at him sarcastically. Are you really willing to marry me? As soon as he finished speaking, the wedding photo on the large screen at the back was replaced by the surveillance footage of the hospital that day. Liam Fu's affectionate confession that day was clearly heard by everyone. Liam Fu felt as if a basin of ice water had fallen on his head, and the cold spread through his internal organs. The people in the audience immediately understood the relationship and started talking about it. Liam Fu's pupils suddenly shrank and he kept shaking his head in denial. No, it's not like that. I love you, Axie. It was just that I was so obsessed at the time that I didn't see my own feelings clearly. My heart really hurts when I see you marrying another man. I can't live without you. Just then, Aria in the audience couldn't help but rush up, her hands, hanging by her sides, were tightly grasping the corners of her clothes, as if she was suppressing something, and her eyes were fixed on the man. Brother Sinyan, what did you just say? Bewitched, you said your heart is all with me. Don't forget, I'm still pregnant with your child. When I heard Aria's words, the corners of my mouth curled up slightly. Ms. Chin, you can eat whatever you want, but you can't say whatever you want. Is that child really yours? And Mr. Foos, as I said that, I took out a paternity test report from the etiquette lady and handed it to Liam Fu. Liam Fu opened it without knowing why, and fear was revealed in Aria's eyes. She hurriedly stepped forward and pulled Liam Fu's arm. Brother Sinyan, listen to me. Before she could finish her words, Liam Fu pushed her away and yelled, Aria, Aria, you are so great. The child is not mine, and you hid it from me for so long. Get out of here before I get completely angry. Get out of my sight with your child. Get out of the Fu family and don't come to me again. Aria was in tears, but the truth was exposed and she could only leave in shame. Aria away. Liam Fu turned around and looked at me with a sincere tone. Ashi, I'm sorry, it was my fault before, I'm a bastard. Can you please forgive me and come back to me, please? I looked at him calmly and said firmly, we are done. My groom is Callum Lu. Tears rolled down Liam Fu's eyes and he took a trembling step towards me. Ashi, I regret it. I shouldn't have done something that made you feel sorry for me first. Can you give me another chance? Please, I love you. I really love you. I have loved you since we were little. There is no medicine for regret in this world. I don't understand why some people only know how to cherish something after they lose it, but now that they are all lost, it is too late to cherish them. I backed away and said, there's no going back, Liam Fu, it's over between us. Thump. Liam Fu knelt down in front of me with red eyes, like a broken porcelain doll, pulling at my skirt and begging, Ashi, please forgive me and come back to me. I don't believe you can fall in love with another man so quickly. Give me another chance, even if you want to beat me or scold me. Callum Lu took a step forward and stood in front of me, looking down at me with an expressionless face. Mr. Fu, I gave you many opportunities, but you just couldn't grasp them. In the end, the wedding ended in a farce. The guests were dismissed, Aria was kicked out, Liam Fu was thrown out by the bodyguards, and I followed Callum Lu back home. Back at Callum Lu's house, he sat on the sofa and looked at me with interest. Why do you suspect that the baby in Aria's belly is not Liam Fu's? I felt uneasy when he looked at me, so I confessed. I came home from the hospital a few days ago and unexpectedly saw Liam Fu drunk at home, so I asked someone to check it out. Aria was pregnant at the time and Liam was too devoted to her to get drunk unless they had a fight. As expected, Liam Fu had a big fight with Aria after he saw her coming out of the hotel intimately with a man. Following this clue, I found out what happened next. So what are your plans next? I had thought about this question as early as when I decided to change my groom. So I answered it without hesitation. I have already applied to the hospital for studying abroad, and the documents will be available in 2 days. I'll stay abroad for a few years so I can study, relax, and take care of my father. I'll come back when the time is right. After saying that, I cast a questioning look at Callum Lu. Callum Lu tentatively took my hand, and when he saw that I had no intention of objecting, he wrapped my hand in his big palm. Just do whatever you want to do. I will always support you and be with you. I smiled at him and said sincerely, thank you, Callum Lu. I went back to work at the hospital for the next few days, and Liam Fu never appeared in front of me. I just heard from Callum Lu that Fu's stock price plummeted after the wedding incident and the entire company is in danger. I knew Callum Lu had a hand in it, but I didn't stop it. I still remember clearly how Liam Fu got me drunk for the order, which resulted in me being hospitalized for gastric bleeding. But what I didn't know was that at the dinner table that day, Mr. Lin of the Fu Group was also kicked out of Fu by Callum Lu, and even a ban was issued in the mall. 5 days later, the hospital approved my application to study abroad, and Callum Lu and I set off on our journey abroad, but I met Liam Fu at the airport. His suit was wrinkled in many places, and his beard and hair had not been groomed for several days. He no longer had the high spirits he had before, and now looked decadent and slovenly, he took out a bouquet of red roses from behind, on which was placed our wedding rings, and knelt on one knee in front of me. She, I have sincerely regretted it, please forgive me, without you, I have not been happy for a single day, the house is empty, and even my heart has left with you, please come back to me, you loved me so much before, it's impossible for you to stop loving me. As long as you come back, I will definitely treat you twice as well as before. These are the sweet words I always wanted to hear him say. But now, my heart is calm, Liam Fu, when the water is not evenly distributed, only by sacrificing the kindest one can the water be calmed down, and I am the one you sacrificed, so I left without making a fuss. Why do you have to linger on? I once loved you recklessly, until my self-esteem was worn away. My love was exhausted, and I knocked down the wall, until the end, my enthusiasm was completely extinguished by you, my heart is broken by you, and I will never shed a tear for you again, you've hurt me so deeply that you don't deserve me to turn back. Besides, your regret is not only because you hurt me, but also because you lost me and your company can no longer operate. I will never come back to you again, let's live our lives in peace and don't bother each other. After that, I ignored his pale face and exhausted body, pulled Callum Lu away and set off on the journey abroad. The next time I heard about Liam Fu was from a newspaper in China. Fus went bankrupt and Liam Fu fell into depression and committed suicide by jumping off a building. Everyone was saddened to see the once talented young man end up like this. But all this has nothing to do with me anymore. 3 years later, as I got along with Callum Lu, I gradually healed my past wounds and truly fell in love with him. We held a grand and solemn wedding abroad. 5 years later, I successfully graduated with a Ph.D. Callum Lu shifted the company's focus back to China, and we also returned to our homeland, but unlike the last time I left, this time when I came back there was a little guy in my belly.